watching Fox News First with Ashley Sutton, Andrew Capasso. First warning weather with meteorologist Brad Souter and on-time traffic with Joy Bergen. Fox News First.
It is 7 o'clock on a busy Friday morning, and we are following breaking news out of Kerrville. Take a look at your screen. This is in the hill country. You see that light pole coming down, powerful floods sweeping through, taking out that light post, that pavilion in the back there, also a truck, and what appeared to be a camper flow down like this. Now, right now, that pavilion, what you saw there, completely underwater. Take a look here. This is a live look at the TxDOT map. You see State Highway 39 is flooded. We've got crews in Kerr County. We've got the latest on live team coverage for you here on a very busy morning. Nice to have you with us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Andrew Capasso.
I'm Jordan Elder in for Ashley this morning. Just in the last 30-40 minutes, we have watched this water rise significantly. It is a very dangerous situation out there.
Yeah, it's come up 30 feet, okay? 30 feet. And if you've seen the Kerrville weather camera shot, that's what we're looking at right now. There is water where the water never, the river's right here. This is the riverbank, here to here. Okay, this is the canal for the river. The river is hundreds of yards outside of its banks. Louise Hayes Park here is there. The park is underwater. The pavilions, all the splash pad, that is all underwater. And no doubt, there is going to be a serious damage to the structures there. But we've seen, you saw poles going down, vehicles in the water earlier. Now just a lot of debris. It looks like there's a tree that's kind of floating down the middle of the river out there. I guess that's a tree. Who knows what it could be. But anything that was near and by the river is part of the river now. And if it floats, it's floating away. And by the way, if you're downstream, if you're in Comfort, the water's starting to come up in Comfort. All of this water is headed your way, all right? So your water is going to go up 30 feet in Comfort. So yeah, if you're anywhere close to the river, 30 feet is a long ways up. So obviously get away from the river there. Looks like maybe a propane tank, the white propane tank bobbing around in the middle. Looks like there could be a couple of them. So it's hazardous for sure. Stay away from the river and the river banks, because a lot of this water, since it's moving so quickly, can scour underneath the edges of the banks, and then the bank collapses even though you think you're safe. And unfortunately, there's still a lot more water that's redeveloping, more rain redeveloping over some of the same areas. Now, if this goes a little farther south, then we're talking about the heaviest of the rain right back into the watershed of the Guadalupe River. Okay, for San Antonio, what's happening? Well, we have some light, moderate rainfall, though, as you work up towards I-10. And this rain, I think, is going to get heavier. It is possible that San Antonio could get some flooding. If we do, it won't be until probably between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. After that, I expect that the rain will then start to wrap up. But this is an extended rainfall event, obviously. We thought it would be earlier and done with, but sometimes remnants of tropical systems have other ideas. But wild rainfall, the good news of this, all that water's headed into Canyon Lake. That's going to be dramatic. But it's life-threatening right now. And we have rain on our own. Of course, might have your day off. It's a holiday. Joy Bergen is still in, because some of you are headed out. And let's take a look at what she's seeing now on some of those wet roads on a holiday Independence Day morning.
Yeah, so the fact that it's a holiday has kind of worked in our favor here in San Antonio. We have not seen the flooding that's been happening in Kerrville. Instead, just very, very wet roads. So they're still slick. Don't think that I'm diminishing that. It is still a safety concern. But our roads are open. We're not seeing, you know, the insane amount of water that they're seeing out in Kerrville, out in Hunt. And that's made for a fairly easy commute here in San Antonio. For the people who are out and about, a lot of them, I would imagine, if you don't have work, waiting for the rain to let up a little bit more before you head out to travel, and that is certainly what I recommend. Let's talk to photojournalist David Mendoza. He has been driving. He was in San Antonio earlier, kind of took stock of the situation here, and he's now made it to Kerrville. So I want to talk to him. David, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yes, I just got off of I-10 moments ago to hit 16 into Kerrville. I haven't seen too much of anything yet. There are still people on the roads out here. And the rain is sort of light. It's lightened up from what I was seeing maybe about 5 minutes ago. Right now, I'm going to head to Lewis Hayes Park and give you a view of what's going on there. I'll keep you updated and let you know what I see. Back to you.
Okay, David, please stay safe. We will check in again with him very soon once we have that live picture, and that's just going to give us another angle of that situation that we've been tracking there with the 30 feet of water that Brad was just talking about, and so that's what we're looking into. Back to San Antonio. Here's what it looks like here. As I said, roads are wet, but they're not flooded. We are really doing okay. We do have a couple of disabled vehicles. They're reflected here in these yellow markers. They're all off on the shoulder and not really affecting traffic. That's the latest for now with your team coverage with your on-time traffic.
All right, and all that rain in Kerrville having an impact on a lot of today's scheduled July 4th events. Kerrville Police and the fire department say they're taking a look at emergency needs all across the area right now. Lewis Hayes Park, which, as you saw a moment ago, underwater right now. That's where the 4th of July celebration was tonight. Other road closures there, you see them on your screen. Arcadia Loop, most of Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, as well as Rio Robles and Riverside Drive. Those are closures now in Kerrville. The city says they are taking a look at things and trying to figure out emergency needs and what to do moving forward. We're going to continue to follow that for you through the morning.
We also want to show you the flood levels right now for the Guadalupe River. I believe you're looking at the Guadalupe River at Hunt right now. Normal flood stage here is 10 feet. The last recorded height was 29.45 feet. The record is 36. A lot of water coming in very quickly. That line is almost vertical. So it's got the projections in purple on your screen right there. It's looking like right now it's forecasted to peak at about 30 feet, so we're almost at the peak, but it's going to take a little while to drain out and go back to normal too, and all this water has to go somewhere. So that we're going to be watching the downstream areas as well. The National Weather Service is calling this a very dangerous, life-threatening flood event. We have Fox SA's Christina De Leon out there now. Christina, what do we need to know? What are you seeing out there now that you're in Kerrville?
Yeah, well, we actually turned around and we went to Comfort. It's downstream from where the water is heading right now. We just talked to a nice game warden and we asked for a place to set up safely where we could see a little bit of the water. Right now, we've just seen the rain pick up. I'm going to turn the camera around. We haven't seen the water really submerge any of these streets. Just let me turn the camera around. What we're talking about here. He is actually watching for the water too. We've seen the city, one of the parks, it's a little bit higher raised, but you can see the water and the rain have actually picked up a little bit. We did see an area that has been blocked off. You know what, we can slow down a little bit because it does look like we're coming upon an area that's a little bit lower. And let me move the camera a little bit slower because it does look like an area that might be a little bit lower, and we're just going to use some caution right here. So as we approach an area that might be a little bit lower, we just have to be careful, obviously. It looked like in one of their parks that was raised, they were ready for some 4th of July celebrations. So we're driving around the city of Comfort, and it does look like they are using some extra caution. Some of their streets did look like they were blocked off, but they didn't look like they were flooded just yet. And it did look like it was just going to be a matter of time before that would happen. So we are hanging tight here in the city of Comfort, just being super cautious. Like I said, the game warden was out. We were at the fire department, and then you're going to see, I'm going to show you right here to your left. You see that barricade that's up? Well, there's no water on that street, but the barricade was up just in case. So it does look like these are some of the usual suspects with the roads that do get flooded. You can see the barricade up, but there is no water on that road. This is just one of the streets that does get flooded. And so they are just being extra cautious out here just in case something like that does happen. There's no flooding on these roads right now here in Comfort. But again, they want to be extra cautious because of areas that could flood. And again, you can see the caution signs. It says bridge may ice and road weather, road may flood, road may flood. And that hasn't happened yet. I'm sorry, it's a little blurry right here because we've got all the rain, but it says road may flood. We're not obviously going to go around that area, but that is where the road may flood, and we may see some water a little bit later on. That has not happened yet here in Comfort. So far, so good in this city, but the rain continues to come down, and so that's what it looks like right here in Comfort. We're going to keep a close eye on things and let you know more as we see it. And so far, we have not heard of anybody being hurt or injured, and this is great news in the city of Comfort this morning. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, it's all by the river. In Comfort, it's good, but by the river is where the water is. Here is the river. The river's over here. This is up near Kerrville. And there you go. Our photographer Fernando has a shot there. There's Fernando himself. He is checking things out. He's making sure that he's safe, because it's situations like this that can be extremely dangerous if you don't know where you are with relation to where the water is. Look how wide. That's incredible. Dangerous flooding happening right now in Kerrville, along and near the Guadalupe. It's going downstream. Center Point rising fast, coming into Comfort here shortly. We'll be back after this. Okay, welcome back to live continuing coverage of a flooding emergency. This is as serious of language for a flood that you can get. This is different than the flash flood, okay, that we had along Perrin Bidle. This is now an extreme river flooding event. We've been watching through the morning the Guadalupe River go from being about 1 foot of flow in here along and near Kerrville to about 30 feet plus. And some of the river gauges, I don't even think they're working properly, because they're not designed to be able to go to this. This will be one of those events they have to research just how high the river actually got. But we are near record territory. We saw the water rise quickly. Joy helped put together a time lapse here. I put the camera on this pavilion this morning because it's all the light we had. The poles going down. Look at the water rise. All of this happened in about 15 to 20 minutes time. It went from lapping up to this pavilion to eventually the light going out. You see the debris too, by the way, all the debris going by. It's all sorts of different things. At times there are trucks and campers and vehicles. That was early on, but my goodness, that water just went up extremely fast. And that is when a flood is the most dangerous, is when the water comes up that quickly. Back over to our camera, watching just all of the debris coming down the river. Thankfully, I haven't seen any more vehicles. And by the way, if you're downriver, downstream, and you're in Comfort, you're on the Guadalupe just north of Bernie, get your campers away. If you're an official there, evacuate the campgrounds by the Guadalupe River, because all of this water has already done damage here in Kerrville, but it's going downstream and it's going to rise 30 feet in those areas. So obviously that is an avoidable life-threatening situation, because we have pre-planning, pre-ability. Our photographer Fernando is out in Kerrville right now, and he is panning around. Look at the waves, by the way. That's not a pond. That's somebody's field or land. The waves are coming off of the river that's in behind that crop, that grove of trees. And look at all the debris. Yeah, look at all that mess. Fernando's zooming in on just a whole, what is all that? Zoom on in, Fernando, if we can see what some of that is. It's just whatever is near and by the river, part of the river now at this point. So some pallets in there. I don't know if that's a safe or a refrigerator, but it does look like people's personal belongings. This could have come from a camper. This could have come from any homes nearby. Thankfully, I don't see any roofs or any home materials. It does look like from people's property, but again, some of that could have been trash that somebody dumped at some point as well. But that's what Fernando is seeing, and this is what the river looks like now, the trees going down the river. They still have the bridge open there. There's a bus going across the bridge. People may have come into town to say, hey, we're going to the park here. This is Luis Park, okay? This is where the big 4th of July festivities are happening in Kerrville today. Well, obviously, they're not. This park's going to be closed for a long time because it's going to be seriously damaged. Most of the infrastructure there has probably been wiped away, which it was a splash pad. It had the pavilions. I think what we were looking at just moments ago, that rooftop where we saw the water come up, there it is there. It looks like that pavilion may have survived as we lost the light and the power went off in that area this morning. So we have some crews out there. I don't know if we have any other shots in the area from some of our Okay, so Fernando's out there watching things, and we're letting our crews know to be safe, to stay away from the banks of this river because this is going to erode some. Continuing coverage on this Independence Day flood that's going to be in the record books in South Texas. We'll be back. More rain on the way for San Antonio, too. We'll have to talk about that.
And now, first warning weather with meteorologist Brad Souder.
Independence Day flood is bad. And Miranda, the producer in the booth, I'm going to call for the flood gauges. If you could pull that up on Scan Converter and just take it right when you get it. Okay, so thank you, Smith. Here we are looking at the river. This is the Guadalupe. Where is it normally? Right here, okay? Right here. And the debris is in it. There are trees. There's looks like a tree there, a fairly large tree. That's a really large tree going down the river right now. And this is headed towards Center Point. Center Point, the water's come up about 20 feet. This is about a 30-foot water rise, okay? And it's still coming up here at this point. You can see the flashing lights off in the distance. Obviously, they're keeping some folks away from the low spots along and near the river. And this is doing damage. Okay, thank you. This is Guadalupe at Hunt. I will let you know, these stopped updating 3 hours ago, all right? But this is what I want to show you. And Miranda, take your cursor and hover it over this section. All right, there you are. That says 6.5 CFS, okay, or about a 7-foot river level. So from 7 feet to 30 feet, okay, it's a 23.5-foot rise. And then if you could take your cursor and run it on up there towards the 29.45, yeah, just take your cursor and put it right up here, okay, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, there you go. What I'm looking for is how high the CFS was. That says 37,000. Run it up even more, up that spike, all the way up. Keep up. Stop. Okay, what was it before? 7? Something like that? It is 120,000 cubic feet per second. So what you had here, 7 cubic feet, 120,000 cubic feet. So you're talking about, what, 30,000 times, 25,000 times more water? Okay, Fernando's got a new shot here. Look at the tree damage. Look at the tree damage. The trees are being debarked there. You can hear that water, the roar. He's looking through the trees there, and that's not even normally where the river is. I also hear the rain still coming down on his rain jacket. So, Fernando, thanks for being a champ and standing out there in the rain. And he's had a hard time getting a shot of the river because the river's not where it normally is, and it's not safe. I mean, look at this thing. I've never seen it like this. This is no doubt the highest since 1987. It could be higher than that. We don't know. Why? Because the river gauges aren't working any longer. They've either been taken out or taken offline from power, but there'll have to be some scientific measurements to go in after the fact about from people being there to know just how high the river is. Stay away from the Guadalupe. That water's coming downstream. For San Antonio, rain until at least midday. It's not flooding in San Antonio. You're not going to drive around town and have to worry right now about high water. There might be some ponding, but there isn't the river flood. Very low chance of rain this evening. That's key for your 4th plans. And here is what radar looks like. So we have light rain in San Antonio. This is a really good one here. We've picked up under ½ an inch, by the way, in San Antonio, but areas up in the hill country have picked up a whole heck of a lot more than that. Here's the headwaters of the Guadalupe, and I probably need to update the timing on that. Yeah, I do, because this is only the last 6 hours. Near 10 inches of rain. There's been even more than that. And all of that has just quickly gone into the river. Right now, I think Kerrville probably is cresting. Okay, but as the Guadalupe goes down to Comfort, then to Center Point, or Center Point, then to Comfort, water is going to be coming up. And then all points along the Guadalupe, get your RVs, your campgrounds. If you're an official, say, one of the state parks, Guadalupe River State Park, you're going to want to close that and get people away, because by this afternoon, this evening, that water's coming through there and it's going to be up 30 feet. Thankfully, it goes into Canyon Lake. What a miraculous miracle that will be for taking the lake up many, many feet. It's going to be interesting to see how great this is for the lake. But here is Futurecast for today. In San Antonio, can't rule out some of this really heavy rainfall wrapping back into the city, okay? This is a little low that's developed, and it's right over top of the city. And I'm hoping that this doesn't indeed bring more rain into tonight, but it could. Obviously, this forecast has been changing pretty rapidly indeed, and looking at temperatures in the 80s. Is that David Mendoza's shot? Can we show David Mendoza's shot? He said he was going to go over to Luis Hayes Park, and that is the bridge that you're seeing. The water is 30 feet below this bridge. Usually, you don't see water anywhere close by to it, but you can also see where vehicles are slowing down, because I got to tell you, people were saying, I've never seen this before, and they are in awe right now of the power and the amount of water going down the Guadalupe River. I can see all of the debris as well, and I think earlier you guys were asking, why is this bridge open? Yes. Well, there are emergency crews there close by, and they're watching it. And if the bridge were vibrating or shaking or taking on a lot of debris, they would close it. But right now they feel like there's enough space between the water and the bridge to keep it from being compromised. If the bridge were to start bouncing and shaking, we've seen that, that means, yeah, close the darn bridge, because that's not... The bridges can be washed away, but I think you have still a few feet to go, and thankfully I think we are cresting out. Is David Mendoza on the phone with us? Yeah, maybe we can talk to David.
I'm here if you can hear me.
Yeah, hey man, thanks for being up there this morning. You've been to this area before. Tell me, have you ever seen it like this, David?
You know, I've been here when it's flooded in the area before. This is incredible, actually. When I first drove over this bridge next to Luis Hayes Park, I was kind of awestruck because the amount of water that is just rushing and pushing through this area. I've seen a lot of debris in the water, a lot of big logs, a lot of trees, some plastic barrels and stuff. Even over here to my left, I kind of lost sight of it. We had a stranded baby deer over here in the parking lot, pushed up to this parking lot area because of the flooding. So I've since lost sight of that baby deer, but the amount of water here is absolutely incredible.
Did the deer make its way out? Did the deer get out of the water?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was out of the water. It was in the parking lot, but I'm not sure where it's gone.
They're great swimmers, but yeah. Look at the debris. Look at that tree. I just saw that tree.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in the water over here, a lot of big debris, and just a very powerful stream.
Earlier, we saw vehicles when this first was going up. I did see a vehicle going down the river. It looked like that video that Yami got from Perrin Beidel. It had its headlights sticking up out of the water. You know, 3 weeks ago, we had that. And now this is a very different flood because this is a river, but obviously, you see any businesses or any roofs or anything, or is this just all kind of in the floodplain?
This is all in the floodplain. This is right under the park. Look at the size of that log floating down. I'm not sure what that piece of debris is, but it really illustrates how strong this current is right now. As far as I've seen, I have not seen any houses or any cars in the water as of right now. We do have EMS on the scene. A little further down the street is Kerr County Emergency Operations. So we do have police on the scene. The park is closed right now. I haven't heard too much more of anything else that's going on, but like I said, this is a very, very powerful stream right now.
Yeah, just on the other side of that bridge, just upstream is Luis Hayes Park, and you wouldn't even know it because everything's underwater, but they were supposed to have their fireworks and their 4th of July plans out there today. Yeah, just to your left. I know you can't see it, but that whole floodplain over there, yep, there it is right there. There's Luis Hayes Park, Nothing at all that looks like a park. There's pavilions there, there's splash pads, there park benches. There's the Guadalupe bass. They have a gorgeous sculpture of a bass that somebody made a number of years ago that's right there, that is underwater or still there at all. But we continue to watch all of this. Now, we did get info from the Kerrville Fire Department. They are assisting with water rescues at this moment. It's primarily been in western Kerr County, and we are watching what's happening with the City of Kerrville's Facebook page. They are updating that, and we know this water is going downstream along with the trees and everything else that's near and by the river. We will have continuing coverage on this as we come right back.
Watching Fox News First with Ashley Sutton, Andrew Capasso. First warning weather with meteorologist Brad Souter, and on-time traffic with Joy Bergen. Fox News First.
7:36 on a very busy 4th of July Friday morning. Nice to have you with us. New information just out of Kerrville, where we've been tracking that dangerous, life-threatening flooding. Kerrville Police and Kerrville Fire say they are now evacuating people. Those people being taken to a Walmart there that's serving as a reunification center. More road closures, and they say the obvious bit of news this morning: don't drive through any flooded waters, any flooded roads, because that can turn dangerous very quickly. Christina De Leon on the way to that Walmart there.
Which Walmart? Do we know which one it is?
I don't know the actual one.
Okay, we'll try to find out which Walmart in case you are wanting, you can't get a hold of family or whatnot to be able to get there. So the Walmart, one of the Walmarts in Kerrville Reunification Center.
Yes, and that you were looking at the cameras. You think the water may be coming down?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Let me show you. I'll show you what I was seeing now. Let me get back on to the proper screen here. But in San Antonio, we are still going to see some rain today. But this is not a flood for San Antonio, okay? But we do have plenty of folks in Kerrville, and here is what they are seeing right now. This is the Guadalupe River. It is 7:37. The trees are going down the river right now. That is Luis Hayes Park, right in the middle of the river, that is completely swamped right now. And I'm trying to see if the river has come down at all. And I'm going to zoom in across the river and look at the bank there and try to see if I can determine if the water line, if it's crested or not. It's hard to see, right? I can't tell if that's just some mud. If it's come down, it hasn't come down much, right? Because I don't see any like debris that's still up into the trees there. But speaking of debris, I mean, there is so much of it. Unfortunately, earlier I did see some vehicles, in an RV and a truck and a car with its lights on. So it's been obviously hard to see that, given that it was just 3 weeks ago that we had what we had then, and now we've got what we've got now. And it's not over with yet. This is a low here. It's kind of a little convective low that's developed, and these are very hard to forecast, but when they develop, they do flooding like this. And notice how the heavy rain is trying to build back into the north and possibly move back into the watershed area. And say watershed, that's where all the water collects, and its outflow is the river. If it swings back in, then you're going to get more flooding. It could swing all the way down towards San Antonio through the morning. In fact, I'm starting to wonder if that's going to happen. We are going to continue with this light rain through the morning for San Antonio, but look at all the flash flood warnings and flood emergencies till 2 o'clock. This is going to be a river flood emergency for the Guadalupe that extends in towards Comfort here, and this could be extended downstream all the way potentially to Canyon Lake. Right now the water has not come up that much, if any, Canyon Lake on up towards say Comfort, but all that water we see has got to go somewhere. It is all going downstream. On the other side of this bridge here, I want to show you David Mendoza's shot once again. He is looking at all of that water. Just usually the water is some 30 feet lower than it is right there right now. They have some emergency lights. We've been seeing emergency vehicle after emergency vehicle. That looks like another first responder, EMS, fire and rescue. No doubt, they're probably, if you have one of the fire crews with rubber boats or whatnot, you might check in with emergency operations in Kerrville to see if swift water rescue teams are needed, because I know there are a lot more resources in San Antonio than there are in Kerr County. But there are water rescues taking place that we have heard of, and you can hear all of that water. David, I know that you are one that listens to the scanner very closely. Have you heard of any sort of water rescues in that immediate area?
I have not, Brad. So I'm trying to stay out of the rain. We do still have some rain. I didn't want to bring my scanner out here and risk the chance of ruining it because